Hey, hi everybody. I thought I'd give you an inside look in my studio space. I moved in here, which is a smaller downtown studio space in Clinton, Iowa, and I moved here last February, and so I've been here for a little while. And this front room is what I use to hang my work up, which is very helpful for me to be able to see work hanging together on the wall because it helps me see what's going to come next. How do I want to create something similar and vary the color, the composition, the size, the format, all of those things. So I have that blank canvas sitting there, 36 by 48, waiting to come next. And it's been sitting there for a while because I have not decided what I've wanted to do. I want to create another one similar to this 36 by 48 right here, which is floral colored. Most of these on the wall are inspired by florals, gardens, things from memory, things from possibly portions of a pastel that I have done. And that's where the inspiration comes from. I really like this large one right here. So I'm going to do another one, but I'm just not sure yet how I'm going to vary it. So coming soon though, I think. And then I've been doing some smaller black canvases, and actually I've been painting over some smaller canvases that I did a while back and just covering them up with black gesso and actually painting them with oils. So, acrylics and non-objective abstracts are what I did for a long time, but I've been going back to using some, like I said, some pastels, some portions of photos, some sketches, and I've been using some of those to get started instead of relying on non-objective inspirations. So I may go back to the non-objective soon, though. Here is another one that's my most recent painting that I'll show you. And of course the light is behind it, so it's hard to see that. I'll close those blinds and so you can take a better look. This is also my painting over something that was there before with black gesso and using a portion of a previously completed pastel to start this. And this is acrylic, but it has oil paint on top of it. And then this is another oil painting. And sorry about the lighting here. And, a lot of these have oil in them. So I've really been enjoying using oil paint recently. And some of my pastels that have been in previous shows, Pastel Society of America and Degas Pastel Society, Pastel Society of the West Coast. That's what these framed pastels are, along with this other one from home that I brought, which is an abstract floral based on some of my contour drawings of flowers. So that's where some of the lines come from that are in this are from my contour drawings. And so this is a nice room. I'm going to start hosting small workshops in this room. So I'll be taking the paintings down and storing them, and I'll have 4 artists working in here on either pastel or painting or both in May. And then I will host 2 other workshops, one in August and one in October here in this room. So I've been learning to put easels together, kind of inexpensive easels for everybody, and buying some equipment so that I can do this here in this space. So this is more of a display space and a place where I sit and I think and I look at what it is I've been doing and work on my laptop occasionally, but not too often. I just don't like to bring my laptop down here too much because I really want to just focus on my painting. I do make a lot of videos like I'm making right now. I make videos for Patreon. I make videos for teachable courses, and then also this video for YouTube. So this is usually where I work on my own work, and I've got my yellow chair there that I brought down from my previous studio so I can sit and look. And I have my oil sticks, my RNF pigment sticks that are out here right now because I've been painting over some things with oil sticks. I love those. They, along with the pastels, are my favorite medium at this point. So, you know, there's so much like pastels with the mark making ability and the direct, spontaneous, method that I can use with the oil sticks. And I have also been incorporating oils into the work with the oil sticks. So I have recently put together a cart that has all of the drawers that you see on the table that fit in here with my oil sticks and oil painting. And so this is from Meaden. And I really do think it's a very nice cart. So I'm glad that I got it. It's very sturdy, it's very well made, and it's high quality. So, I work here with this wall that I've covered with some plastic so that I don't get too much on there for the landlord who is right next door. And then I also have things on the floor to protect the carpet. Like this is something that I covered up the carpet with to keep it clean, and that seems to be working really well. And drop cloths, and here are some of my pastels. I brought a lot of them down from home, and so I have a collection of Diane Townsend Tirage, which these pastels have a little grit in them. They're really wonderful pastels. I usually use those to finish a pastel. These thin are Giraud pastels that I like to use for mark making. Some more Townsend. A lot of Unison pastels. I've always collected Unison pastels. I like the consistency, the shape, and if they get into a little point there, which people will ask me, how did that happen? That's just the way I use them. I use most of my pastels on the side instead of the tip. I've got some Mount Visions, some more Townsend thin lines, some pan pastels, which I have here. I've tried to get all of them, some Ludwig pastels, some Art Spectrum. I have a big box of Art Spectrum pastels that are now stored in the storeroom. So, and I put things up to help me with line. Like here is a drawing that I recently did of a bouquet. I have used this expressive pastel to help me start oil paintings. So I've used that, and I've done several of those. I have the acrylics stored over here on this shelf, and I separate them in colors. So I really like using jars instead of tubes anymore, but I have so many more tube paints. And I also have things stored here. I have fluid acrylics, inks, water-based oil paint, which I'm also using lately. And then I have a storeroom where, oh, I just, no matter how much room I have, I'm outgrowing everything. So I have other things stored in here, other paints, things that help me stretch a canvas, take canvases off, other extra materials, paper, things like that. So, it's the storage spaces were made for something else instead of art, but I'm trying to make it fit. The only thing is they're not really big enough for paper. You can see it's hanging off, but then I save extra boxes that the paper comes in, and I store a lot of finished things in that, or I take them home where my home studio is, and I have a flat file there, so I store things there. So that is my storeroom, as well as my bathroom that I have, my furnace, air conditioner, and back storage space. Not deluxe, it's an old building. I don't think any of the floors are level. And then I had this sink put in, which is great. So this is where I store things. Sometimes I spray things back here. But it's great to have my own space. I worked at home for many years in a very small space. I did paintings there, attaching unstretched canvas to the wall. So now it's really is wonderful to have a space like this where I don't have to do that. And it just really has helped me very much to have a space like this. I'm glad that I did it. It's an expense for me that I always need to figure out, how I'm going to afford to pay for this. And, but so far, it's worked out. And I'm really glad that I have it and feel very fortunate. And so I wanted to just give you a look around so you could see where it is that I work. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting more things on all the time. And I'd love for you to subscribe and make comments on this video. Thanks for watching.